I'm very excited to know about it after choosing PCB, how you ended up choosing law. Aditi was using GH1, GH2 and so on. So what is exactly, let's start. And then nowadays the companies have also been vocal about this thing and they're even allowing this 1 or 2 leaves per month for females. That's a very great thing that you mentioned about it. So hello everyone and once again welcome to the YouTube channel of Get Set Law by IMS and continuing with this series of Law School Insider. So today is a very special video because we are starting up with our NLUs series in the Law School Insider because the earlier ones were related with the colleges, that is ILS Pune and GLC Mumbai, which was more in context with the CT exam, but now completely focusing on which majority of the students go for it, that is a common law admission test. So today we have Mahak and Aditi, both from NALSAR Hyderabad, one of the college, or I would say not a college, but one of the dream which every student who wants to be into the law fraternity, we want to be part of it. Now, another exciting thing is that both are from Madhya Pradesh. That is, so I'll say all three of are from Madhya Pradesh. And we are going to provide you some very deep insights about the college and to have the versatility in this particular video. So we have kept one from second year and one from fourth year. So Mahek is from second year and Aditi is from fourth year. Both are from MP. And then another exciting thing is that one is from commerce stream and one is from the PCB stream. So this is something which is very unique, which we have even seen it in GLC also, that it happened like science and someone was from commerce. So the first question which I'm going to throw to these people is before the introductory thing, because I'm very excited to know about it after choosing PCB, how you ended up choosing law, because I know a lot of science students and even the bio students go for ending up into law, but it's like stone on your heart. Do you do it? Okay. So we'll start with Aditi. Before you give the introductory, I want you to answer this particular question. Aditi.
I think it's a very logical question, to be honest. So, as you said, I'm from Madhya Pradesh. I come from a town called Balaghat. And I am that those 10 standard batch who just encountered COVID. So, like, my avenue for going out of my town and like studying were like nil. And what ended up happening was the place I come from, arts is basically unacceptable, and there wasn't a choice of commerce in my school per se. Plus, parents, like, I have been a good student objectively, so my parents were like, okay, I mean, do science no matter what you do. And they themselves were the ones who broached the subject that maybe you should consider law. So I wasn't aware of CLAT till I entered my 11th standard, and that's when I started learning about, okay, these are the 5 subjects you're supposed to study, this is what law is like. Because I from the very beginning, I always thought I was a very science oriented student. So even this came as a shock to me as well, that I ended up in law. But yeah, I think COVID has a fair share of devotion when it comes to like making me take
Fair
law.
enough, fair enough. So law just came as a surprising thing for your journey, and now it's the field which you definitely from your heart and soul you want to pursue, right?
Right. Like I checked out CLAT, I checked out what are the other alternatives, and it actually matched with the kind of personality I have. So I ended up slowly liking it, and that's why I decided to pursue it.
That's great. So next we have Mahek from commerce background and again from MP. So tell us something about yourself. What ended up getting into the field of law? Like it was already a dream, it was already a plan, and then how you ended up.
So for me, law actually become ended up becoming a plan itself. When I started in eighth and I had a lot of option, I considered UPSC. I considered other options. My father was a lot more oriented towards JE and NEET first because I was a good student in science. But I myself knew, okay, I'm never ever doing touching history and physics after class 10. I did that, and in 10th class, I did a lot of research and everything. And then we encountered, okay, law is the one thing which I would want to pursue, and it aligns with my dream. Like I really want to work for marginalized people. It gives you that power, and then kind of an exposure to work for people. So then I ended up doing a CLAT coaching and clearing CLAT. Commerce as a subject was always like a second option because I always wanted a backup plan for me. I was not really sure of if there are as good options in India. So I was always like, okay, if I'm unable to do CLAT, then I'll do commerce and I'll probably pursue CA or CS or something. So yeah, commerce was always a backup for me.
So that's great. So I think like if things have to be come at one place, if you decide something, you do a bit of research, but that is an important part. That and also in the today's world, I think our viewers, our students should know this, that everyone is in having technology in their hand, and through this session or the video, we want this message to be clear to the students. Please keep exploring, keep researching, and that is how they can ended up doing. Chalo. So let's start bombarding a lot of questions to both of you, Aditi and Mehak. So to our viewers, right now when we were just connecting with each other, there was an abbreviation which Aditi was using, GH1, GH2, and so on. So what is exactly? Let's start with that. Explain. I think this is related with girls' hostel, if I'm not wrong. So tell us. We'll start with this only. What's the hostel criteria? How you have chosen up hostel ki bhai mujhe hostel mein hi rehna hai, ya there are facilities also. Give us a neutral view about it, and then we'll hear it from Mehak also. What's her experience about it? Yeah.
So, once you enter the college, you are supposed to live in hostels. Like day scholars are exceptions, basically. So, for the first 3 years of your law journey in NALSAR, you're supposed to share it with a roommate. And afterwards, once you enter fourth year, you get your own occupancy where you are the single occupant. So, I recently shifted and all, and it was like all overwhelming. Like if you see my room, it's like very chaotic. But it's actually, the point is that after fourth year, you do need that space in order to, for yourself basically, in order to like make decisions which are more personal in nature, or you need a space so that like if someone's like preparing for any competitive examination, we all after fourth we get a clarity, right, that what kind of stream you want to pursue. People are in a way decided whether they want to go for corporate, whether they want to go for litigation. So you can like customize your own space, and it helps in your career as well in that way.
Okay, that's perfect. So Mehak, I think you are in a sharing hostel. That means, yeah. So can you just brief onto it, like when you enter the college, what are the hostel options you have? As Aditi mentioned, ki fourth year, so you got a single occupancy room. So till 3 years, what's the structure?
Right. So basically, in NALSA, we have two kinds of hostel, boys hostel and girls hostel. But as NALSA is also a very inclusive college, so we have separate rooms for transgender people also, that mostly they reside in girls hostel itself. Also, so when we enter into NALSA, we basically get a particular hostel. Like right now, I have girls hostel 4, and there we have a sharing room. Room have two people. So I think I also like that structure personally, because it's always good to, if you have a nice roommate, of course, it's always good to have a person whom you can share, talk with, tell things about, especially in a place where you don't know anyone from starting. Yeah, that's pretty much the structure. Though hostels are also pretty good. Yeah, though some issues here and there starts coming, but yeah, they are pretty good
So
hostels.
that is part and parcel of being in a hostel. There are some pros, there are some cons. So are these hostels
Yeah.
air conditioned hostels, or you have to keep your stuff like your cooler or something related to that? And what things are not allowed to be taken in a hostel? Like as far as I know about a basic hostel ka criteria is, you can't have a lot of cooking instruments inside the hostel because they already have a mess facility and everything. What exactly about it? What are the facilities in the hostel? Like do you get a
Okay.
bed, you get a cupboard or a study table? What exactly things are there?
Okay, so basically in a hostel room, we get a bed, we get a cupboard, and we get a mirror and a table and a chair. That is the only five thing. It's everything from our pillows to cushions to coolers. Everything we have to get. We have a common washroom. So yeah, that is in the room. In hostel, we have Wi-Fi. Then yeah, we have Wi-Fi, drinking water or RO water is available. Everything else you have to get by your own. Though electricity appliances are not as such allowed, but yes, they can be brought in. Like I cook in my hostel if I don't like facility, so I'm the one cooking. So yeah, we can bring electricity appliances. We can bring freezers. Of course, you need to get permission from registrar, but it's
Okay.
not something very difficult to do. So in our hostel,
Okay.
it's like we have fridges, we have cooking appliances, and yeah, that's it.
Everything is provided. Okay. And do you guys have any knowledge about what the boys hostel look like the structuring part? No idea. Okay,
So
fair
this
enough.
structure is very similar. I mean, I've seen it. So like the structure is very similar to girls' hostel, except for like some of their buildings have balconies as well, which all of us are very jealous of. But apart from that, it's very similar in nature. They also have 7 hostels, just like we do. There's not much difference, even in terms of say coming or coming out hours. There's no restriction that because you're a woman, you're supposed to come back in time. It
Okay,
is
okay.
very NASA in general has a very liberal philosophy when it comes to
Yes.
that.
So if I want to know as a student that when I enter into the college, the hostels are within the campus. So I have my classes also in the campus and we have hostel also. So when we talk about the security concern, which is majorly a concern for the parents, because like you guys went from MP to South in Hyderabad. So that's a change in a city, change in the culture, change in the language. So how you guys coped up? Like, were your parents ready to send to Hyderabad? Because there are a lot of students who tell ki sir, parents won't allow to go to Hyderabad. They might allow to go us to Bangalore. They might allow us to go to Bhopal, but not to Hyderabad. But I just tell them lay low, then make this as a decision. Okay. So Aditi, what can you just tell us about it?
Yeah, so Madhya Pradesh is very far away, as we all know. My place itself is like 600 kilometers away from it. But I think the major fact for me personally was I did not want it to stay in MP or any of the neighboring states, because like I personally wanted to like explore more in terms of cities. And my
Okay.
parents were like, okay, as long as you're getting good education, they were flexible with respect to that. But I think it's a very legitimate concern. But I think one thing I can assure is inside the hostel, at least, the security is very sufficient. Like you need not worry what kind of clothes you're wearing, what kind of things you're doing. I mean, as long as you're not doing anything extremely problematic, it is
Yeah.
very well to go. Plus, like there are seniors, there are even some of the faculties live here, so that is one of the additional points which you can take into
Right.
consideration if you're worried about security, because they're also staying here. So yeah,
Yes.
I think even like coming out, when you want to come in or go out, you're supposed to sign in a register that is properly maintained. So that is something you can take into account if you're making this decision.
Okay, so we started with hostel thing, and then we had a discussion related to the amenities. Now we'll move towards the next best thing, is that is the classroom structures. That how does the classroom look like? So we'll first want to know about how does the classroom structure is. Are they air conditioned or are they spacious enough? What's the seating capacity even for the initial years and then for the later years like fourth year, fifth year? And also about the attendance criteria, like how strict they are. So that is what we need to hear. First, let's have the initial year experience and then
Right.
from Aditi, the later year experience.
Right. So basically, the one thing I really love about NALSA is their classroom structures. Our classrooms are actually very well designed. We have multimedia systems in there. They are well conditioned. And then it's an semicircle structure kind of thing. So we have a capacity of 80 students, like 80 students in my section itself. So basically, in a batch, there are two sections, section A and section B. I come from section B. The classes are very well structured. We have mics in different areas of our classroom. So even if someone is sitting at last, and there are stairs in the classroom, so of course, even if you're sitting in the last or you're sitting in the front bench, it really does not matter. We have a very good clarity in terms of, because as we use multimedia and all the digital equipments nowadays, so it's pretty much good. Coming to
Okay.
attendance structure, though there is a 75% requirement, or if with medical, it goes to 67% requirement. In recent times, like from last semester itself, like admin has been kind of strict with attendance. But yeah, before it was pretty much chill. Like we used to get attendance by the end of the semester. But yeah, it's
Okay.
of course advisable to maintain your attendance to at least 75%.
Definitely.
And I think it is very well maintainable. You can also get to medical leaves. I think one
Okay.
additional point which is very good for girls here is that you get menstrual leave. That is one
Okay.
for per month. So I think it's a very good thing, because many times, as we were even talking to some of our teachers, girls are not able to attend or maintain that kind of an attendance because of the health issue. So yes,
Yes.
we get a menstrual leave also. So yeah.
I think nowadays people have the companies have also been vocal about this thing and they're even allowing this 1 or 2 leaves per month for females. That's a very great thing that you mentioned about it. So, okay, so Aditi, what's your experience about it? So I think that the structure looks like the Three Idiots wala class ka structure, right? It's something related to that.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right,
So
right.
what's
Semicircle.
semicircular? Yeah.
Uh, so I would say Mehak has covered most of the things. So basically, you have. I think this is also related to the courses you do, because the attendance also depends on that. So for the initial first 3 years, you have something called tutorials as well, apart from the mandatory classes. So this is basically to create an ecosystem where fifth year students, who are your seniors, they help you in specific subjects. So say if I I enter my fifth year and I want to become tutor of international law for the third year students, I can do that, and I'll get some credits for that. And even students will be more, because the tutorial groups are divided in smaller groups, say 20 people. So there you can have more one-on-one questions, which may not be possible if you're like too shy in a classroom, or obviously a professor cannot take all the questions. And secondly, by the time you're done with your first 3 years, you get a lot of electives and seminars, so you have a lot of flexibility. So right now I'm in my third year. I have just two mandatory courses, which is intellectual property law and ADR, which is alternate dispute resolution. And apart from that, I had the liberty to choose the electives and seminars I wanted to do, the visiting faculty courses I want to do. And of course, there's a thing of luck, because some of these have a statement of purpose basis selection, which is basically you tell them why you should be the one doing this course. Or in some of them, it's purely based on luck, because they have draw of lots and things like that.
Okay.
So the attendance thing can also be taken care with respect to that, that if you do not want to attend a lot of classes and if you are meeting your credit requirements, you can be flexible with respect to that. So if you're
Okay.
preparing for a competitive exam, you do not want to do a lot of credit, you want to focus on your preparation from fourth year onwards,
Yes.
so you are eligible for that.
Okay, okay. So one thing which you both have missed about it, which a first year student wants to know, कि classes शुरू कब से होती है? So I want to know it from Aditi, that in the initial years of first, second year, what's the class timings? And in this year, if you are aware of it, that from the fourth and the fifth year, this would be the timing, because I think internship is a point which will going to come up in the next question. So because a lot of students wants to do that, so how it's being done? What's the timing duration of the classes?
So classes usually start from 9 a.m. and they can go till 2:30, 4:30, depending on the courses you're doing, the year which you are in. Depends on the professor as well. Then you have in between tutorials, etc. But because you have 75% attendance, it becomes a little bit difficult missing on classes, especially when you're doing, say, competitions and all, for which you again will have to travel and you'll be missing out classes. So yeah, parallel internships will not be possible. You can perhaps do flexible online internships in your first 2 3 years, and a third year onwards you will anyways be getting internships via ICC, which is internship committee and like recruitment committee. So on the basis of that, you'll be getting good internships, so you can focus on your break, you can take your internships to your breaks, and then apart from that you can focus on academics. Because I understand a lot of people have this concern that okay, internships give you a practical view, but I'm also of the view that until unless your basics are strong, you're aware of the subject itself, it will not make any sense for them to give you any work if you're not, say, no one will give me anything related to FEMA if I haven't even studied company law properly. And this is also reflected in your interviews, etc. So I think that theoretical knowledge and that academic knowledge is also important in order to foster your interest, and then you can move on to the practical aspects of it.
Okay, that's good. So now we have touched the topic of internship, and you even mentioned about committee. So two questions are coming. How does this internship thing looks like? So Mehak, do you have any idea about it? That how does it look like, and from which year the internship actually starts? If you have a wider idea, you can just go with that.
Right. So internship basically start in NALSA from first year, first sem itself. But first two internships are generally pretty much chill. Like I did my first internship in a trial court from the place where I live in. I did in Shujaalpur trial court. I think as much as I went to my seniors and asked, including Adi, all of them advised me to start from very basic things, learn very
Okay.
basic of the litigation, so that you just know from where the case actually starts. And that's what I got to know from my experience in trial court. The next internship of mine, I did it in High Court, in Indore High Court. So yeah, again, in that time, you also get to know, you visit High Court, you get to know how to start drafting, how to do research work, what kind of cases comes into bail applications, everyone. So everything when you get to see that, yeah, it's pretty much from first year itself. Though it's always optional, like you can start from your third year, you can start from your second year. Many people also advise like you can skip first sem ka internship, because at that point of time we have just studied law of torts and legal methods, which is
Okay.
not generally as much as into a legal background. So in first sem
Okay.
go, you are very fresher because you do not know as much as law. As Aditi mentioned, from second sem itself, like since I had studied family law, I had studied contract law, I had studied criminal law. So it was, of course, of great help because I was able to understand the context in which case was going.
Okay. So I think this internship you do it in a sem break, right? And that is for how many months?
So basically, we have a sem break of 2 months in every odd year and 1.5 months for every even year.
Even.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, like I did an internship for 1 month in both of the same. As you go ahead, like you can do a 2 month internship, or even if you get an online internship, many people can do 2 or 3 months internship even. But it really depends. And generally, in sense, like in initial years, it is advised like you can do a 1 month internship, and 1 month to 15 days you can remain in your home, or you can
Okay.
go out because it's the time which we can really explore.
And for getting these internships, does the college really help you, or it was like your personal thing which you ended up?
I think first internship everyone gets from their references, from their father's
Okay.
references, mother's references.
Okay.
But I think seniors
And
come
is it from the senior references also, maybe?
yeah. Seniors come to a lot of help when you want to internship, like at least in initial years, because RCC, ICC generally coordinate in upcoming years, like from fourth year, fifth year, they start coordinating
Okay.
with you more. But like as of now, even I'm applying for internship, I'm texting other seniors, can you please send me databases? So which internships I
Okay.
can apply? Where can I get good experiences? So a lot of seniors send a lot of
Okay.
databases, and just shortlist people, send emails, send your CV. And then, yeah, it's also upon luck. Like you send 10 to 15 people, you
Right.
send email, and
Right.
then only
Yes.
one or two you might get reply. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So that's a very great thing that within the college, and anytime when we have been exposed to technology, we have a lot of good groups on Telegram, WhatsApp, where we have the alumni group also, access to seniors also. Easy to exchange numbers and be in the social community sector, right? Great.
Yeah,
So
it's
since you
actually
have, yeah,
pretty.
go ahead.
It's actually pretty much good. As I was applying for internship, I got almost all the advocates number, which I was thinking, okay, this advocate is really good. I would
Okay.
like to, and I got literally database having all the email contact details. So yeah, database availability in NALSAR, particularly because of alumni also and all the seniors, it's really good.
Okay. So now you both have use the abbreviation of some CC or RC or something like this. So me and the viewers won't be able to understand, but I know that it's related with some recruitment committee or the internship committee. So Aditi, on the basis of your 3 years of experience in the college, Nalsar, I want you to highlight us more about what is the committee structure first, that how many committees are there as per your knowledge, and can any student who enters into the first year be part of the committee, or what's your suggestion about it, when you can be part of the committees, and what is the criteria about it, like you need to have some the preparatory thing, or the personality is being tested, is there any selection criteria or something like this, and the last one is you are part of which committee in the past 3 years, come on.
So, for the initial years, of course, you're not allowed in these committees because it requires a lot of directly dealing with, say, a lot of HRs, associates. So, it is also about the reputation of the college, and you need to understand a lot of technical things as well. That there are elections which take place in each batch. So, we choose members of the committee among ourselves. So, the initial
Okay.
first year, you cannot be the part of the committee. We recently held our election for RC. I did not participate
Okay.
because I had a mood going on, but
Okay.
on the basis of that you become part of the committee, and that is of course a lot of work, but then at the same time you make a lot of connections. So yeah, it is a bargain. If you have that bandwidth, you can of course go for it.
Okay, so that means for the initial years, I think no one becomes very key. They don't get much opportunity to be part of the committees. That is what you say, right? But they
Right.
do get the opportunity, but the criteria is quite tough over there, depending upon how they crack the criteria and then be part of the committee, right?
So the initial first 2 years you do not get an opportunity itself because
Opportunity itself.
it is
Okay.
based on the election within the batch, so you will
Okay.
not be able to participate.
Okay. Okay.
And after third year, you because it starts from fourth
Okay.
fifth year.
Okay. So can you highlight something about the committees which are there in the college? And then we'll go to Mehak. She is very eager to tell about it. Yeah. Aditi first, you, and then we'll go to Mehak. What all
There
committees
are
are there in the college and how it works?
NALSA governance in general is very student driven. We have a lot of committees. We have academic committee, moot court committee, ADR committee, debating committee being the CAD co-curricular oriented ones. Then we have cultural committee, we have literature committee, and we even have informal groups like we have something called NALSA Reads where we just talk about books. We have communities, music communities, people who want to take initiative. You are very well welcome. So I personally am part of debating committee. We have IB Debate Championship, which NALSAR is very famous for. So we'll be
Okay.
holding that soon. And the very part of being a community, again, that is also election driven in the sense that you
Okay.
stand for a position and there's voting system and all. And apart from that, your primary responsibilities are basically managing what all competitions the college holds. Apart from that, even just maintaining how where the budget is going, whether everyone is able to participate in a comfortable fashion, bringing in new ideas into the committee. So it is a lot of social interaction, and at the same time, what new you're bringing to the table.
Okay. Yeah, Mahek.
Right. So actually, Aditi Didi, what she said for ICC and RCC, for like coming from third, fourth year, you are eligible to part of ICC and RCC, which is Internship Committee and Recruitment Committee. But for any other committee from Moot Com to Debate Com to SBC, SSC, we all are eligible from our first year, first sem itself. So as she
Okay.
said that, yeah, we send for a position, then there's a lot of campaigning and all which goes on. Yeah, so these are the days which are like people are like, please vote for me, please vote for me. They will
Okay.
show their campaign that what they want to do and what they will include in it. And yeah, there is election process. One person get elected from each and every section. A person get elected, and then you go and form the committee. So I just wanted to
Okay.
highlight on that. Yeah, from first sem itself, you can be part of committee, not like ICC, RCC, because of course they deal with a lot more technical stuff. But for other committees and for representing NALSA, basically maintaining NALSA culture in general, all other committees you can be part of.
So that means you can be part of the committees from the first semester, but there are few ones which are the internal ones, not ones where you have to interact with the people from outside. That is what you want to highlight?
Certainly, like ICC, RCC, or executive, we cannot be part of, but other committees, as I
Okay.
mentioned, may it be MootCom, may it be for ADRC, may it be for our student representative, or
Okay.
for any other committee, we can be part of.
Okay. Okay. So I think we are on the same page onto this. Like you mentioned third year se and you mentioned first se hota hai. It happens,
For
right?
third year, it happens for ICC and RCC.
Okay. Aditi, you
From
agree
first year,
with
it's
this,
like
right?
general committees.
Yeah. I was coming from a place specifically focusing on RCC, ICC because that's what you asked
Okay.
about.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah, apart from
Okay.
that, the other committees you can be part from. You can be a part of from first
Okay.
year itself. And people are in
Okay.
general very excited once they get to know about it. That okay, I can be a part
I
of
can be
committee.
part
And
of the committees.
I can represent
Okay.
my sections. It's very
Sections.
interesting, right?
Okay, okay. Sikat. So what is exactly the ratio of like the girls with the boys in the class structure? Like is it 50-50 or there is the women empowerment more and the boys are less? Like how it works?
So actually, it depends on the base batch curve structure itself. Like
Okay.
in my batch, there were like girls ratio was kind of on higher side than of boys. But I think in this particular batch of 2030, boys are more than girls. So it depends. Like in my class, girls are pretty much more than boys. We are
Okay.
in numbers more, but it's general and it's equal only. So it kind of
Okay.
depend on batch structure, like
Batch
whatever it
structure
is.
only. Okay. And Aditi, what's your experience into this?
I'd agree. I think it is more or less proportionate. The
Okay.
number is not a problem per se. Like you won't feel
Okay.
comfortable like IITs where everywhere you see there are just guys.
The
So
guys and
that is
girls are
not
less,
a
yeah. So
right.
that is the point which I just wanted ki there is a proper ratio and it's a proper competition between the boys versus girls.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
fair enough.
rather proportionate. You
Okay,
do not
yeah.
have to worry about that.
Like Aditi, you mentioned about that Nalsar is known for the competition. Can you just highlight something onto it? What is that competition?
Also, we conduct a lot of competitions. We have BRS on moot. We conduct animal rights moot. My committee itself, we conduct IV debate championships. A lot of NLUs have their own competitions, their own moot court competitions, their own debating competitions. There are cultural fests, etc. So yeah, I mean these are just to name a few.
Okay. So you highlighted about the moot court culture also. So how does this moot court culture happen? So is it like a student who's from the first year makes an entry into, they get exposed to the moot court competition? What exactly it is, Mehak?
Yeah, sure. So basically, first of all, we cannot do a moot in our first sem. In our second sem, in our first sem, basically we get a moot coaching, which is generally given by a fourth or fifth year who is experienced in the moot. They give us some 10 coachings, and for that they also get credit. In our second sem, in the starting of our second sem, we have our introductory moot, which is also of credit. After that moot per se, we are allowed to participate in moot. So I did a moot in my second sem per se. We form a team. Then there is an OC, like open challenge. A lot of like once the competition opens, a lot of teams register for it. So our OC was per se memo based. So we prepared a memo. We went for that, and our memo was selected. So we went for a competition. And for national level competitions, from second year itself, you are eligible to participate in selection moods, which will be held in August right now. So there will be selection moods. Would be out. Many teams will participate, and then ranks are gonna be released. Basis on that, on those ranks, basically you are allotted national moods. For international moods, we are again having OC structure. You have to participate in an open challenge. Like I myself am participating in a mood right now. So you start preparing for like 4 or 5 months generally in for an international moot. There is a lot of rigorous competition in terms of international moot in NALSA. Like as I consulted with other NLUs team also, who are preparing like 1 month prior for OC, and here we have to generally like 5 6 months prior we make a team, we start looking for a coach and start preparing. So yeah, for international competitions you have an open challenge, and for national competition it's generally selection moods rank which works.
Okay, so that means from the second year students can be part of the moot court competition. Yeah,
Certainly,
okay.
second year students are completely like after doing selections, they can be part of. And from
Okay.
first year itself, in second sem, you can start applying for moot. Once your introductory moot is done, you can start applying for moots.
So Aditi, I have a question for you. Like you have already spent 3 years in the college. So are you like you must have definitely been part of some moot court competitions. Definitely you must have presented within the college only or maybe outside the college, depending upon where you have been part of it. So how you have approached that particular thing, like you were given a case or so, what exactly it happened in the competition and you were part of it.
So I believe this ranges from mood to mood. The strategy for an international mood will be completely different from a national mood, and it also depends on subject area. Say my mood deals with IPR, and if I do
Okay.
not, as a second year student, I have no idea about intellectual property in general. So for me, it will be starting from the very basics. But at the same time, if it's a contract law mood, it will be relatively easier. So in my second semester, just for the sake of doing it, I did this mood, which was contract law basis, and we just wanted to have a trip, so that's the entire focus of that. And we did this mood, we won also, but it was fun. But apart from that, later on you realize that this is way more taxing when it comes to international mood, as Mehak was mentioning. It's like 4 or 5 months of preparation. So I have done Nuremberg international mood court competition. So therein you have, the first round was letter of motivation, which had nothing to do with
Okay.
your technical legal knowledge, but just to represent that why you want to participate in this moot. And then you had written and oral rounds. But not every moot is alike. Some moots they give more weightage to the written rounds. Some moots they give more weightage to the oral rounds, or the basically the burden falls more on the speakers. So it all depends on the kind of moot you are focusing on. So your strategy should be, first try to find people who have done given splendid performance in that particular moot.
Okay.
If
Right.
possible, try to get yourself appropriate coaches. If even if they are not from your college, it's not a problem. Just try connecting to the right people, take their intake, start reading basics of that particular moot court competitions. If you can find past year memory, that is a great thing. And then slowly you can, once the problem is released after registration, you can just start focusing on the particular section or provisions which that particular problem is talking about. And then from
Okay.
there on, you can divide your issues, whatever number of issues are there among your team members, and go on from there.
Yeah, take it fair. So now till now we have been talking about a lot many academic thing, class structures and hostels and also the moods and everything. So a lot of studies things have happened. So besides the study part, which the NALSAR is very much famous for their classes, their semester system, the competition and the intellect people like you are being part of it. So that is there. But in today's context also and also have been since past 5 7 years in India is shifting its interest towards the sports also. So how much NALSAR is supporting the students? Like if I would have been a student and being in a college like NALSAR, I would have first went, besides there are committees, I would have went for यहाँ पे sports का culture कैसा है. So what exactly this, and if you guys have participated in any of this, like whether it is inter college competition or intra college competition, so beside the sports, what are the other non-academic activities which NALSAR is famous for? Like people wait for it कि ये fest होना चाहिए. So what exactly it is? First we'll go with Mehak and then we'll go to Aditi.
So NALSAR hosts a lot of fests, and sports facilities in NALSAR are actually way better than any other colleges or any other NLUs, basically, as we mentioned. Like we have almost all the sports, football teams, we have basketball, tennis, table tennis. Also, like one I am doing regularly is a runners club we have. So we go for a walk for jogging on 1.5 kilometer from our college. Then we have trilaterals. It is an event between NLS, NALSAR, and NUJs, which is hosted almost every year. Actually, way better than any other colleges or any other NLUs, basically, as we mentioned. Then we have trilaterals. It is an event between NLS, NALSAR, and NUJs, which is hosted almost every year. That happens.
Okay.
Then we have Beats Arena also. Also, inter-college competitions are like way regular. Like as the new batch has just came in, so now the selection process has just started for cricket, especially in boys. It's much more active than in girls. Of course, depending on the people who are more interested. Like for
Yes.
basketball, even girls are very interested. For cricket, even girls are very interested. But in boys, you will get a like batch-wise, they will form their teams and then they will compete, and then a NALSA team will be formed which will actually compete in final competitions. So yeah,
Okay.
NALSA for sports is actually very, very good. For fest also, NALSA hosts almost every festival. We have a fest here. For each and every region we get a fest. Like there's Awadh Magadh for Central India, there's Rajasthan Fest, there's Lodi Fest, there is South Coast, sorry, yeah, Fest, there is Telugu Fest also. So yeah, we have a lot of fest. But
Okay.
also one thing about it is like there's no fest in the starting months. All the fests come by the end
Okay.
of the semester. So which I
Okay.
personally feel because I want a fest right now. Since it will be
Okay.
almost 1 month I have been in college and we have cultural activities which are famous,
Okay.
food from there. So yeah, in college life in general, apart from academics and NALSA, it is pretty much chill. It is very much enjoyable because you have all the facilities available if you want to go in whichever sports you
Okay.
want to go in. And many times, almost every time you find a senior who is willing to help you. Like I personally started running for the first time, so a lot I'm not really good, so I would be the one who would be running at the last. But people will come and they're
Okay.
like, "Come on, you can do it, you can do it."
Do it. Okay. Right.
Goes for table tennis. Like I play table tennis, so I encountered a senior who really helped me to play table tennis and
Okay.
everything. So yeah, the
That's
culture
nice.
for sports and everything is really good, and that's for one
Great.
thing why people prefer NALSAR over any other NLU because of the culture here. Like you won't encounter such an sports-oriented culture, I guess, in any other NLU except for NALSAR, which is here.
Okay, that's good. Aditi, what's your say? Like, have you been encountered any of the sports event? You must have definitely encountered, but being part of it.
So I think a few Mehak has very nicely covered everything, but a few more things I would like to add. So I'm not really into sports per se, but like I'm more of a gym person. So we have like very well
Okay.
furnished gyms here. It's separately in boys and girls hostels. You don't have to worry about feeling very conscious about it. So that's how I started it. And apart from that, also I think we both forgot to mention, but we have sports committee as well. Again, the same
Nice.
process goes therein as well. You go there by elections, but a lot of sports happen as telling all of us about. Even kabaddi is there for that matter if you're interested in that. And when it comes to fest, again, as she said, it is very diversity based in the sense like all the regions get represented. So you have different kind
Okay.
of fest with different kind of communities where you get to flaunt your own culture, your own food, your own dance performances, your own cultural activities,
Okay.
and it's like a lot of fun. It's like a cultural exchange because it's like you're
Nice.
coming from it's in a way a cream of the country, but in a very diverse way, so you get to learn a lot about different kind of cultures. I think that is also one of the most important things because this is not just a place for academic learning. College
Right.
is supposed to be a holistic experience. Like
Experience,
develops your
definitely.
personality, you get to meet people you thought you would never meet, so it is really amazing like that.
Okay, so that's a very interesting point. Ki going to the college is not only about studying law, doing internships and everything. It's more about being participant, even if you are not sure of whether you have that skill or not, but at least be participate to it. Because I know that whenever any event like a fest or any festival or any the sports event happens, be participative. When you participate, you have that teams coming up, being together, supportive, leadership qualities, a lot many things of the person's personality is being tested. That is what I think in a span of 5 years, it's actually like you are living with unknown people, but at the end of the fourth year or fifth year, you'll definitely make up a lot of groups and you become part of it. Because when you enter in the first year, it becomes very difficult for any whether it's a boy or a girl, that it becomes very difficult for them to like be in the survival mode. So when you become part of these festivals, these events, you definitely ended up meeting people and know about the colleges more. And that helps you in academics also because it is for sure नहीं तो फंसोगे एग्जाम्स में. So you will need support, whether it's notes or whether it's guidance, how to prepare and everything, how to crack a paper. That definitely helps. Okay, that's very good. So the highlighting part of this video is that a lot of students wants to know that we know that NALSAR placements are very good. It is in competition with Bangalore, with NLU Delhi, and even the Pur also, and NUJ Kolkata. But I want to know from you people, you might not be much aware of the exact figure. I don't want to know the exact figure, but what is that real data which you people know ki these are the companies which actually come, they hire the students, and that's the range of package which we have known, actually have known, and the placement report was published. Because we know that the placement reports are actually published, but there is some analysis based data, that's an average data which being posted. So Aditi, if you are aware of it, or Mahek, whosoever knows about it more, that this was the placement and how that actually happened with the people. Now, what was the companies and what was the highest package in the recent years, in the last past 1 or 2 years?
I think so. In NALSA, placements are not just restricted to the nation itself. There are international placements as well. So of course, the figure tends to go higher for them. But again, it kind of compensates for the cost of living you encounter there, and so it's not really like you cannot take the absolute number for that. But I mean, without a doubt, a lot of tier one firms come here. They take people from that. In 2024 itself, we again had 100%
Can
placements.
you name a
There were
few
86.
few firms which come?
Definitely Cam, Sam, Khaitan, try legal for that matter. Like, so
Okay.
it all depends of course, there's something called PPO, which is very rare, but if you get it, you can just chill for the rest of your years.
Okay.
Apart from
Okay.
that, you have callback internships. If you are interned in one firm, but they have evaluated you that, okay, you were up to the mark and they would like to see if you are and again able to reproduce those results, so you'll get a callback internship. You'll be interning there twice, and on the basis of that you may or may not get placed there. And even after that, you have day zero in your first year, fifth year, of course, that
Okay.
you get placed directly. There are interviews, and even like if you don't want to do tier one firms per se, there are there are consultancy firms, there are in-house, uh, even like I think people got hired into ONGC as well if you're into government sector per
Okay.
se. There are different kind of roles, and even if you do not just want to do corporate law, you can always go for litigation. There is a great culture, there
Okay.
is a great alumni base. You can go for judiciary, you can go for LLMs from here on. I personally know a senior who has gone to Oxford for their LLM, which was quite impressive to me also. Even when I was a junior, I was like, wow, that this is something else.
Right.
And
Right.
even apart from that, you can become a professor if you're into that. So this place in itself gives you a lot of exposure, I could say, in terms of, okay, what are avenues are there for you, so you can just try
Exactly.
out different things. And I think that is also one of the reasons why internships play a major role. So like what some people tend to do, and I think it's great if you have that clarity, but what some people tend to do is, okay, I'll just make my CV in a way that it just screams that I'm interested in corporate law, so that
Okay.
I can join a general corporate team in a particular
Okay.
firm and I'll be done. But I believe once you get to explore, like I personally thought taxation would be so boring. Like
Hmm.
who likes taxation? I used to totally judge people on the basis of that. But
Okay.
then once
Okay.
I myself studied it and I myself interned under
Okay.
that practice, now I'm quite interested in international taxation. So I think that is a very trial and error journey. Of course, you can't try everything, but there are other alternatives even apart from internships. You can write research papers, you can write articles if you think research papers are very big of a commitment. Of course, there are moot court competitions, and seniors are there to like tell you about a lot of other things. You can take electives, etc. So yeah, I think it is to each their own kind of journey, and you figure out
Okay.
on your way.
So I think the placement starts at fifth year. That is what you are saying.
No, my point was, if I have seen people who have gotten PP offers in the third year itself.
Okay. So that
There
is
are
when they
people,
do internship and they get a pre-placement offer. That is one way of
if
getting.
you're
Yeah.
exceptionally well, yes, of
Yeah.
course, you can get that.
Okay.
Apart from that, there are
How
other
does the
avenues.
placement committee helps? Like, do they conduct an exam, or how does that filtration happens in that way?
So first of all, the placement committee is the one which is responsible for getting you those internships. So you getting a tier 1 internship in itself is a big deal, because even if you do not want to join that, you at least get the exposure of, okay, this is what I'm aiming for. So even
Right.
therein, if you're performing well, you can make your own connections, you can be in touch, and then slowly you can make your way in. And fourth year also, a lot of people get placed because of that callback internship thing. And then of
Okay.
course fifth year, you have day zero, etc.
Day zero. Okay. So that is how the placement committee conducts the entire day zero, and the companies comes, and then students are being informed about that this is a day zero and the companies are going to be there. Prepare yourself well about these things. So so for a student who's encountering this for the very first time, I definitely understand that placement committee must have been helping how to frame your CVs, how to like present yourself, what could be the question. So do they conduct that grooming sessions or something like this? Are you aware of it?
Yes, so we have regular workshops. So for second,
Okay.
third years, we conduct these workshops where we tell, okay, we have a template draft sort of CV. We tell them how everything goes. Even when you're
Okay.
applying for any particular internship, your CVs first get checked by the committee itself, so that it is up to the mark, because it is going out and it is representing the university itself. And
Mhm.
then if they want, they'll tell you that, okay, make these modifications, or maybe like just you properly have to give proof for everything you've written in your CV, so you cannot just lie
Okay.
and get away with it.
Right. Right.
And on the basis of all these things, you land an internship, and then you continue with the same.
Okay. That's good. Mehak, like since you are very new to this segment, but anything which you have known from a senior or already know about how this thing happens?
So I really do not have as much as idea like Aditi that they have in this particular area. But yeah, for internship and CV thing, like we have writing lab mentors who actually conducted our sessions. Like for CV, they provide us with templates like where can you apply and everything. And then you make a CV in almost in the same format, and then you can like
Okay.
go for them to please cross check
Okay.
it. Like I made my CV 1 month before I wanted to apply, like because I was like, how will I apply? And then I
Okay.
just made him cross check my CV and cover letter. You apply and you get an internship. You eventually land up in an internship. As much as I know about placements and all, yeah, almost everyone in NALSA get placed. Except of the
Okay.
ones who actually do not want to, like, who want to go for LLM
Go
or
for
for
it.
judiciary or UPSC or any other thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally acceptance rate, like placement rate is really high. You land up in a law firm or a corp law firm wherever you want to, because there's a lot of exposure here and a lot of
Okay.
connection also you get from the faculties and from the places you have interned in. So it's also
Okay.
student oriented. As much as I have heard, students also apply many places. Okay, I want to be an associate at that particular place. So it's an
Okay.
student oriented as well as committees also pretty much help.
Okay. Okay. So, anyone from you can tell what's the average package you have heard about? Ki this is the package which went in the college in the recent past 1 or 2 years.
I think average package was 18 to 20 lakh, as much as I have heard. Average
Okay.
package was 18 to 20 lakh. And the highest went was for international, some 60 to 70 lakhs, as much as I know.
Okay.
It
Okay.
might be something above or down, but yeah, 60, 70 lakhs was for international firm, and average package for each and everyone was almost 18 to 20 lakh.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah, I
Aditi.
second what Mehak said. The average package lies from the median and average, both are basically 18 to 20. And the highest was, if I remember correctly, it was 79 lakhs something, but it was again an
Okay.
international
International.
placement.
So majorly these packages are being offered by the tier one law firms which you are highlighting, right?
Tier 1, tier 2
Besides
both.
the international one, tier one, tier two. Okay, fair enough. And these are based out in the places could vary anywhere. Like it could be in Hyderabad, it could be in Bangalore, it could be in Delhi, Mumbai, anywhere, right?
So mostly it's the metro cities.
Metro cities
Even
only.
while you're doing your internships, you get an option of picking the place you want to do your internship in, so that
Okay.
it is accessible to you as well. If you come from South India, Bangalore and Hyderabad are more comfortable. If you come from North India, maybe
Okay.
Mumbai and Delhi would be more comfortable, considering the
Okay.
language barrier as well.
Okay.
And sometimes it's other cities as well, like Ahmedabad, Pune, etc.
Okay.
So of course
Okay.
you can have your preference on the basis of that.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So now, so we are almost on the verge of completing it. But before completing this, I would want to know a reason for two things. Okay. So one thing would be a debatable part, but that I'll keep it for the end. But the second last thing is, so for the survival of human race, we need food. Okay. So how is the food, I would not say culture, but the food which, because in Hyderabad it's somewhere which I have known it's too spicy. Okay. So how in the college, the food thing, the hygiene facility and everything, and knowing the hygiene thing more from females is way better than knowing it from the guys. But that is how have been the trend going on. So how this particular thing happens, like what is the canteen thing? How's the food over here? Like easy, it's very easy to get Zomato or how it works. Anyone? Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I'll
Mehak.
go with it because the mess, particularly in this time, we have changed mess contractor and it's actually way better food than last time. Yes, last time, of
Okay.
course, you would have also heard reports about protests in NALSA due to food conditions. Like last time, food
Okay.
was horrible in general, I have to say.
Okay.
But this
Okay.
time, we are getting a much, way better food. Like I just had breakfast and it would be good. Like there, now food is being served like you want to go to mess and eat that food.
You want to
Of
eat
course,
it. Okay.
apart from mess, we have a lot of stalls and in our campus itself, which actually
Okay.
generally works around like 12 to 1, even 1 at night. You want to go and you want to have an ice cream
Okay.
or something. So you have stalls and you have shops which are there. You can get a very good pizza, shakes, and everything is available. For Zomato, like there are restaurants available in this particular area because also it accompanies a lake. Shamirpet Lake is here. So a lot of
Okay.
resorts are also in this particular area, but of course delivery fee is little high, so which is always a barrier. Like it would be 100 rupees delivery fee for something you
Oh,
might be of 100 or 250, you will
100,
order an 100
200.
rupee
Okay.
delivery fee. So yeah, of
Okay.
course it is a barrier, but again we have MACD nearby. We have a lot of shops like Beats and Bites or somewhere if you want to order, so you can
Okay.
always get
Okay.
good food. Yeah.
Okay. And for the
Also,
daily needs also, the college have provided you with the facilities within the campus.
right. So we have bid basket facility. Bid basket
Okay.
delivers you 3 times a day. So I
Okay.
today morning itself I got my parcel which I ordered yesterday. So
Okay.
yeah, as I said, I also cook by myself. So mess workers and people are really supportive. And I personally, since I cook, so I just go to buy vegetables from them only. We generally take vegetables
Okay.
from them. So I've actually
Okay.
taken a round of entire mess. It is actually more or less hygienic. The
Okay.
storerooms, the where vegetables are stored. So I generally go in and I take all the vegetables or something which I ever I want to. So they are very
Okay.
supportive and it's more or less hygienic only.
Okay. So I think Aditi have seen this change of protest and coming to a new thing, right, Aditi? And I think Mahek
Yeah,
have
yeah.
already experienced
Even
the
even
same.
Mehak was there. So
Okay.
there were a few complaints with regard to hygiene, and it was very concerning. We all,
Right.
student body in general is very active in NALSAR, so we did this entire protest, and now we have a different team altogether who prepare food and all. It is
Okay.
much better than that. And same for girls and boys. So like you wouldn't know anything different from us. So
Okay.
apart from that, and apart from that, we have food outlets, as Mehak pointed out, which are pretty nice. I mean, they're very convenient because sometimes you're studying till late and then you suddenly feel hungry at 11 and you missed your dinner because you were busy with something or the other. So you would have other facilities. Yeah, because of the location, because Nalsar is located in the outskirts, delivery charges are higher, and even if you want to say go out properly go out in the main city, it takes some time, say half an hour to 1 hour, depending on the location, of
Okay.
course. But I think there's a benefit as well because like even nature wise, Nalsari is very scenic and beautiful because
Yes.
not a
Yes.
lot of pollution. You can just go on walks in morning,
Yes.
they're very therapeutic. We have two lakes
Okay.
nearby. You can just go, and like if you're feeling very overburdened, which you often do in a law school, of course,
Okay.
so you can just
Yes.
like go chill, come back. It is very nice like that.
Okay, that's nice. Okay. So now the debatable thing which I wanted to know from you people, that so now if a student is confused between getting into NLU Delhi or getting into NALSAR Hyderabad, so what's your one X factor? You can think about it before you answer it. What is that one factor which you say ki this is the reason a student should go for NALSAR, because both the colleges are the prominent colleges of the country, the locational advantages both have the advantage. It's not the alumni base is good. Their ranking, whether it's the NIRF ranking or within the student community also, it's very great. So what is that one thing which you suggest ki because of this Nalsar can be chosen besides any other national law college like NLU Delhi? Aditi and then Mehek.
So I think it's a very personal decision, especially if you're preparing for say judiciary, UPSC, you had that mindset that I'm taking law so that I can have more time in my hand. I don't have to do a very technical degree like say engineering or medical for that matter, so that I can devote more time to just competition. I do not want to focus a lot on the corporate side of the law firm. So I would obviously prefer going to NLU Delhi. Plus, I think it becomes a relatively easier option for North Indians because of the language, the
Okay.
culture, etc.
Yes.
And
Yes.
again, NLUD, I think it is located in the city itself. So if you're there for the city experience, or if you want everything to be in your vicinity, then NLUD is a better alternative. But on the other hand, I would say the kind of diversity, and again, as I mentioned, the nature and everything, I know it's like a very irrelevant factor when you're picking up colleges, but I think in the long run it does affect you in multiple ways.
Yes. Yes.
So mental health wise as well, I think NALSA does have an edge over that. I mean, of course, it is a personal decision. I mean, I think if you're a non-vegetarian, this is a heaven because biryani is just amazing. I mean, I'm a vegetarian, so I keep hearing how good it is. So
Okay.
I have a bias towards Hyderabad at this point.
Okay.
And even like I think pollution wise, it is Hyderabad is a better city to live in, or
Okay.
even security wise for women. And Nalsar in general, I believe, because students are very proactive in nature, in the sense, even when you talk about, we have things like gender neutral washrooms, which is not something which is very frequent in any college per se, not just law schools. So if you're trying to explore your personality, you're trying to express yourself through various modes, this is a very relatively liberal place. Like you can be whoever you want to be, and you won't be judged to the extent where you might get judged in like say other NLUs. So of course, like at a
Okay.
human level as well, apart from like academics and career and everything,
Mm-hmm.
this place offers you that liberty that you can like explore yourself, you can explore who you are, etc. And
Okay.
of course, I'll have my bias towards Nalsar any day.
Yes,
So
definitely. I can sense that. Okay, okay. Mehak, and anything which you want
Yeah.
to add, that one
So
thing.
adding on to what Aditi, I completely agree with it. I think academics are way more parallel in both of the college, but the sport facilities and the nature which you get in Nalsa, like for personally for me, it's like if I'm tired at night or something, I'll just go on terrace and just stare at sky and the lake. Like I get a lake view from my hostel, so I'm like
Okay.
just see there, just seeing the rising sun and setting sun is
Okay.
something which has been constant for me in this 1.5 year almost. I'll just see them. I think NALSA just gives you that culture where you can expose yourself and you can just experiment with yourself, what you want to do and what you
Right.
actually are. So yeah, that's on the culture. And I think sports facility again is like top notch here, which
Okay.
you may not get in any other NLU or any other
Right.
college, like the way you get here. The student facilities which are here. So yeah, that definitely
Okay.
that's one of
Okay.
my bias for NALSA is of course again goes with nature, like the way
Yes.
surrounding you get here. Like I personally remember the first time I went college to home in mid-September, sometime in my first time. And I remember there was a lot of noise happening on the road because I was traveling with my father, and I was like, why is so much noise happening? Because
Yes.
the level of silence, like where you can explore birds and each and everything, like of a particular things, because it is in forest. So yeah,
Right.
I have a way for an Alsar because of the nature it
Yes.
has. Like the scenery, the
Okay.
scenic is absolutely
Great. Great.
amazing.
So the
I
scenic
think
beauty
one
spending.
more
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
one more
Aditi, go
point if I
first.
can add. So like especially if you're an animal lover for that matter, like NALSA students are very empathetic towards like the lives around us. Even you can
Okay.
see dogs just coming into your rooms and just sitting, even your classrooms for
Okay.
that matter. Sometimes professors get uncomfortable, sometimes students get
Okay.
uncomfortable, but it's like the philosophy of coexistence, at least what people try to go for. Sometimes it is like, okay, I mean, that is getting too much out of hand. It comes from a place that we are also sharing a space with them. And I
Right.
think even as like North Indians coming to South India is like a complete cultural shock. So even in
Yes.
those terms, you grow that okay, in a completely different environment, even if you're able to survive this as well, so there are cultural
Mm-hmm.
differences, and you're still making friends with the people who might not
Yes.
understand. Because sometimes when you're just being very emotional, you want to speak in your mother tongue, but then even
Right.
apart from that, even when you don't share the same culture or language or like a lot of other things, there are people who are more than willing to help from every region. So I think that is also one
Okay.
of the great things.
Great.
I'll
Great.
just
Great.
add
So.
on to what Aditi Didi said, like about the language barrier. I think it's almost non-existent in Nalsar Parso,
Yeah.
Hyderabad and Parso. Like everywhere I go, I can
Yeah.
comfortably speak in Hindi.
Okay.
And most of the time like they are able to understand even if I speak in Hindi or I speak in English. Also at NALSA there is a lot of diversity in students. So like personally my best friend is from Delhi region. So we generally talk in Hindi only because of course it's
Okay.
just to
Right,
express
right.
ourselves. It's better when we talk in Hindi. Also, you have a lot of people since it's a lot of diversity. So there's no as such thing like South Indian language or North Indian language
Okay.
per se. Also, in general, communication language is of course English,
Hmm.
but like people in South I encounter, they are generally like, oh, I want to learn Hindi, and I personally am like, oh, I want to learn Telugu. So I'm learning Telugu. Someone is learning Hindi from me. So there's no
Right,
as
right.
such language barrier which exists in Nalsar per se, or even in Hyderabad in general. Wherever you go, like you will be able to encounter a person who speaks in Hindi. Or I
Nice.
have also traveled in the public transports or in buses and everywhere. So even when you speak Hindi, they are very much able to
Yeah,
understand and they
that's not
always
an
help
issue.
you.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. चलो that's great guys. So I can clearly sense कि नालसार अच्छा है NLU Delhi से. That is I can clearly sense it. That's great. Okay, so obviously you are in the college and you have this sense of it, but it's good. Anyone can choose as per their own convenience, and every time a lot of students face this particular problem, but it totally depends upon what you actually eye on. There are multiple factors. It could be city, it could be language, it could be food, it could be weather, it could be north, it could be south. Because India is a rich in the cultural thing, you want to be part of it, you go for it. Okay, so that's great. Thank you so much, Aditi and Mehak, for this particular session and being part of it. In the description, we're going to tell you about them also. And if any given point of time you want to get in touch with them, definitely we're going to share their details also. If anything about the college, anyone wants to talk to them personally, their email IDs will going to be available in the description. You can anytime text them and ask them about it. And thank you so much guys for being part of it. Till then, me and Aditi and Mehak signing off. Wapas jaldi milenge guys. Okay, thank you so much.